Hello everyone, this is Kosher Bacon. Welcome back to Let's Talk. So, I saw Endgame. Yeah, let's talk. So first off, if you've been living under a rock for the past decade or so, you might not know this, but Marvel, who makes comics, decided they would make movies about their comics, and they turned out to be really good movies. Like, Iron Man 1 blew everyone out of the water, and it's been hit or miss since then, honestly. Some things have been pretty good, other things have been just good, other things have been, well, it's good, but that's because it's a Marvel movie, so they have the budget to throw at it to make it good enough it's not exceptionally good. And others have been exceptionally good. Um, One of the more recent ones, Infinity War, was definitely very good. Pretty much everyone agrees. It had, like, I already did a review on it. Just go watch that review. So anyways, now that the bit for the people who somehow don't know what Endgame is, let's get it serious. Yes, Endgame. I watched it. It was awesome. Go watch it. There, review over. Done. Oh wait, you wanted more? Okay, I guess let's talk more. Spoiler alert. Yay. So, much like Infinity War, Endgame sort of sets up our expectations, then defiles. It breaks our expectations. Like after what Marvel pulled with the snap and killing half the heroes and the gloomy ending or whatever ending you want to call it, people probably didn't know what to expect when they first went into the theater. So we see Endgame get set up and we don't know what we're getting into. Is this going to turn out to be part 2 of 3? Probably not. I doubt Marvel could get away with that. Then again, they're Marvel. They can do absolutely anything they want now. Because, in my opinion, and in several others, Endgame is amazing. It's got basically all the characters. I can't think of a single character who isn't there. Literally, they're all there. Everyone comes back. Well, most everyone. Was Loki there? Yeah, Loki was there. Yeah, it was, Oh wait, we didn't have Vision, that's right. Alright, it has almost all the characters. Vision is not there. Well, he's there in spirit or something. I don't care. Moving on. It has all the characters. They're all great. They're funny. It's got decent pacing, if you ask me. We get to see more character interactions. I love the character interactions. Like Peter seeing Captain Marvel, for example. That's just like that type of thing is what I love the most. Just seeing the characters interact with each other. Thor and Star Lord, for example, at the way end. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So first things first, I'm not going to go over every single page of the movie. That would probably get this taken down because reasons. But my favorite bit, at least at the beginning, has to be where the team goes ahead, goes to Thanos' planet. We're expecting some epic duel or something, and they like one-hit KO him essentially. Boom. Ambush, chopped off his hand with the gauntlet. He can't do anything. He's completely helpless. And oh wait, it turns out that the only reason they were able to track him down is because they could trace the Infinity Stone energy is because he used said stones to destroy themselves, so that no one could undo what he had just did, which was what they were trying to do. In other words, he anticipated their move, or that someone would do that, and provided a counter, and continued his philosophy of balancing the universe by killing half of everything, because repopulation totally isn't a thing. So, like, Thor gets so pissed he just takes off Thanos' head. It's like exactly what we're expecting, and then just, okay, now what? Nothing was accomplished through that. The viewers get that sense of hopelessness, and then boom, fade to black, then slowly creeping in 5 years later. It was so awesome. I loved that. Just, what a great job. It was amazing. So, yeah, that was fun. That was a great way to sort of defy our expectations of what was going to happen. And then we get into the probably more controversial bit of the movie, the time travel stuff. Now, the time travel stuff itself is actually fine, but just the concept of using time travel to undo everything. First off, that has been done to death. The movie itself is aware of it. Several characters state the various time travel-y wacky stuff that has happened. Back to the Future, for example, being referenced. The thing is, this isn't actually proper time travel. I think the Russo brothers had to call it time travel so most people wouldn't get confused. It's actually traveling back to like an alternate reality, which is basically a copy of what your reality was 20 years ago, but from that point forward, it's its own separate thing. Changes made there don't affect you, it just affects the future of that reality. It's a branching path, essentially. Okay, everyone tries to do time travel, I'm gonna make it simple. This is the timeline. Event 1, Event 2, yada yada yada. So we're over here at the beginning of Endgame, and we decide to go back all the way to here to try and stop Thanos. That doesn't actually affect what happens over here. that just creates boop, this timeline over here, which may or may not have already existed, don't question it. And then any changes that we made over here will affect over here and over here, but we still live over there. Does that make sense at all? It's hard to explain this type of thing. Give me credit, I'm trying. And the Russo brothers did their best to try and explain it too, with the Supreme Sorcerer popping up for some Hulk exposition. But yeah, that's what they did. They wanted to grab the stones from this reality over here, use them to fix the stuff over here, then pop them right back over there. And yeah, that's actually a good idea, all things considered. I liked the use of, like, Ant-Man finally felt like he fit in. He was kind of out of place in Civil War. Like, Scott Lang has a daughter. Why on earth is he going off to Germany to fight half the Avengers because Cap told him to? That doesn't make sense. It didn't fit with his character at all. So now he finally has a reason to exist because quantum tunnel mechanic, time travel garbage, dimension hopping, science. Yes. So yay, that part of the universe has a reason to exist finally. Um, so yeah, that's cool. The time traveling shenanigans were great. It was cool to see some of the old scenes, some of the details we may or may not have missed. I don't know. I'm not watching those scenes in those movies again just to catch all the small things that probably were there already. And yeah, that was cool. I felt like the two nebulas being able to access one another's memories was a bit of a plot device thingy that shouldn't have happened logically, but it did? So, okay. Like, I mean, movie's got a movie. I'm not going to question it too badly, all things considered, because that was still a fun movie. Like, I mean, how else would Thanos supposed to, like, counter time travel garbage? It's literally like an insta-win victory if you can just go back in time. Which I don't think they're going to be doing too much in future movies. I hope they don't. It's sort of a thing you reserve only for when the big bad has literally decimated half the population of the universe. So that's fun. Out of curiosity, no, that's not a chunk border. I thought that might have been like a messed up chunk border. So what else did I really, really like about the movie? Obviously you have that lovely sweeping end shot where all the Avengers, everyone is in it, except for Vision. Rip Vision. I liked that permadeath is still a thing. Like, characters stay dead, some of them. Vision, as far as we are aware, is gone. Black Widow's dead. Rip Black Widow, or she's in the Soul Stone or whatever, so she's not coming back. Loki, I believe, is dead? Although technically an alternate reality version of him got a hold of the Tesseract and escaped Earth after being apprehended by the Avengers, so he's technically alive, and they can always swap him in like they did with Gamora, who I would still consider dead, because call this Earth Prime, if you will, the Avengers that we're used to. They went to Earth 2, or Earth 1, Earth 2, yeah? So the Avengers from Earth 1 that we're used to, that we've watched all the movies about, went to Earth 2 to grab the stuff, and Loki from Earth 2 is now alive, and Gamora from Earth 2 went to Earth 1 with Thanos. Which is probably brings up one of the things I don't understand about the movie still. How did Nebula from Earth 2 get, like, Thanos to Earth 1? Was it shrinking technology, which I heard or saw? Was it dimension hopping thing when they didn't have enough juice to get a person through a round trip, but somehow his giant spaceship made it? Did they shrink the spaceship using the stolen Pym technology and then shake it through with Nebula too? It doesn't make sense. One of the sad parts of the movie is probably that Nebula 1 had to kill Nebula 2. I'm surprised they didn't do something with that, but whatever. Just, yeah, this movie was great. It actually had very good pacing for all the stuff they put in it. There are only a few critiques I have of it, and even then it's mostly just superficial stuff. There was one scene that kind of, like, I'm not going to say it ruined the movie, because it didn't. The movie is still awesome, but it just sort of felt jarring and out of place. There's the one thing where Spider-Man gives the Infinity Gauntlet, the Tony Stark version of the Infinity Gauntlet, over to Brie Larson, to Captain Marvel, and he's like, how are you going to get to the time portal thingy, the van? And she's like, and then one of the other female characters is like, oh, don't worry, she's not alone. And then you just have the panning shot of all the female superheroes. None of the males are in that shot, only the females. Like, I get feminism as a concept, but, like, isn't the point of feminism that they should be equal, not above? Or I'm gonna get crucified for this in the comments, aren't I? Whatever. It didn't feel right to me. It felt forced. I didn't like it, but it didn't ruin the movie, so let's move on. Here, time, set, day. I don't like nighttime. I like daytime. I've just been walking on these pressure plates talking for like 5 minutes, haven't I? Let's move on. Yeah, I really like. It was kind of confusing how Thanos was a credible villain without any Infinity Stones at his side in this story, When in Infinity War, like, we only see him using the stone, so we don't actually get a baseline for how powerful he was. But then you look back at Infinity War and you realize Thanos was actually kind of holding back most of the time. Like, he didn't deliberately handicap himself, but he didn't go all out. There was no reason for him to. There's only a couple of moments in this movie where he actually looks like he's, well, shit his pants, like, oh, I am in over my head. Cue Scarlet Witch trying to rip him to shreds, or when Captain Marvel just, like, tanks his headbutt attack thing that's like, knocked over everyone else beforehand. He just had that look on his face. Oh, shit. It was, yeah, it was pretty good. I gotta say, I really enjoyed this movie. Um, yeah. Any other thoughts on the movie in general? I'm surprised this went by so quick. I feel like I could talk about it for more and more. I I don't know about Thanos. Did they stay true to the Thanos they built in Infinity War, where his main goal was just to like balance the universe? Like his whole thing was at the end that he saw that just balancing the universe, people are going to undo what you did. So now I'm going to recreate the universe in my own image, essentially, where people don't remember that they. What? I got lost there. I think that scene was mainly there just so that we could have a Thanos versus the bad guys payoff versus the good guys payoff scene. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. Someone explain it, please. Um, yeah, it was awesome. I don't know. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you haven't seen it, also, I apologize for all the major spoilers I've just been dropping left, right, and center. Thanos is in Endgame. But yeah, I gave a spoiler warning. Don't blame me. Like, I spent like a week away from the internet to avoid any Endgame spoilers until I saw the darn thing, and just yeah. Sorry, that clicking noise has to be very annoying. Like, yeah, I did not want to get spoiled, and I managed to do it successfully, and I'm very happy that's a thing. So anyways, what were your thoughts about the movie? Parts you liked, didn't like? I, I don't know. Cap, like, at the way end, when Cap doesn't go back to the future, he sort of breaks the whole uh, different reality thing by having it where he jumps from this reality to this one, then somehow ends up back in this one without jumping back. But it can't be time travel because he changed his own past. You can't do that. That breaks the rule of time travel. They just added that scene to have a good feel-good ending for Cap. Speaking of which, rip Tony Stark, rip Cap. Professor Hulk was okay, but I kind of wish he'd done something in the movie other than being there for comedy. Thor was I love to see how Thor's transition was. That's probably one of my other favorite things about the movie is how we saw the characters transition during the 5-year period. Thor just goes off the deep end essentially. No, wait, the deep end would probably be Hawkeye. Thor just gets like they got another shirtless Thor scene and it was brilliant. Just watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, that's right. How could Cap lift Mjolnir? That's one of the things I'm still questioning. So, like, in one of the biggest payoff scenes, you have Cap lifting Mjolnir, the magic hammer, which is back because timey-wimey. And, like, when did he get more worthy? I've read a couple theories, one of which being that after he told Tony that Bucky killed his parents, that made him worthy, or he just became a worthier person after reasons, and yeah, or he accepted their defeat at Wakanda, which made him worthy, and none of that sounds right to me. Come to think of it, Thor is a pretty not great person. How is he worthy? What is the worthiness trait? What makes you worthy to lift a hammer? But you know what, whatever. It had some great moments to it with like Thor and Captain America switching the weapons and Cap using his shield and hammer together to create an awesome attack set. He actually pushed Thanos pretty hard, all things considered. It was mostly due to just taking him by surprise that he could do half those things, but it was great. Yeah, so it was great to see Cap still being Cap. He never changes. That's his whole character arc, is that the world around him changes, he doesn't change. So seeing him basically unchanged after the 5 years was good. Black Widow as a character, we never really got too much out of. That Black Widow movie may or may not even exist after this. Maybe they announced it just so that we wouldn't think she would die, and now they're going to cancel it. Or maybe it's just a prequel to... I mean, obviously it's got to be a prequel to Endgame. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun. It was a fun movie. I enjoyed most of it. A couple parts of it were kind of meh. A couple parts felt like fan service. Like, hey, now Cap can lift me on there. And I was like, really? Other parts of it were fan service of the good kind. Cap saying Hail Hydra in reference to that one thing we don't talk about. awesome. Like, just, oh, it's so good. And then there's those parts that don't make it so good, and maybe the pacing isn't as good as Infinity War, but my god, that is such a good movie. I actually enjoyed myself all the way through. I had to pee before the first Infinity War and the first Infinity Stone showed up, and I held it the whole darn movie, and it was worth it. I'm probably going to regret that in my declining years, but today I say that was worth it. Anyways, I've rambled on for long enough with absolutely no script, which is why I'm just bouncing back and forth between 25 pressure plates, or flying around them in circles now. Let me know what you thought about the movie. Questions, comments, whatever. Just discuss the movie in the comments. I don't care. I mean, I do. I'll be discussing it with anyone who actually watches my videos and comments. Anyways, until then, as always, have a great day. See you next time.